If Niccolo Machiavelli were alive today, he wouldn't be writing books. He'd be running empires silently. He wouldn't tweet. He wouldn't post. He'd be the man behind the scenes, pulling strings so subtle you'd swear it was destiny. Because in a world addicted to visibility, Machiavelli would dominate through invisibility. And today, you'll see exactly how. Not with quotes, not with doctrine, with the essence of manipulation itself. 21 psychological rules for total control, based on what Machiavelli would do if he were among us. Now men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Control how they see you, and you control what they do. Rule 1. Always let them underestimate you. Machiavelli understood that power is safest when hidden. In today's world, everyone rushes to prove themselves, to show their credentials, to display dominance, to parade their intelligence like armor. But Machiavelli wouldn't walk in loud. He'd walk in last. He'd watch, he'd absorb, and then he'd speak once, precisely when no one expects it, saying what no one else dared to say. And in that moment, he wouldn't just take the room. He'd own it, because true dominance is never announced. It's revealed when silence becomes command. Let them think you're harmless. Let them believe you're ordinary. When they stop watching, that's when you strike. Power moves best when unseen. Their guard drops, their ego swells, and they expose the very weaknesses they thought were hidden. The quietest in the room is never the weakest. They are the observer, the one mapping every gesture, every word, every fragile thread that holds the illusion of control together. By the time they realize you've been orchestrating the moment, it's already too late. Rule 2. Charm is more dangerous than truth. In a world of constant exposure, where perception outweighs substance, truth doesn't spread. Presentation does. Machiavelli would never waste time convincing others of his goodness. He'd let them believe it. He'd smile in rooms that burned with hidden agendas. He'd nod in agreement while planting quiet doubts. He'd weaponize charisma like a surgeon uses a scalpel. He wouldn't argue. He'd enchant, because once you've charmed someone, they defend your lies as if they were their own truths. To Machiavelli, sincerity was a costume. You wear it long enough for others to forget it's a disguise. Don't strive to be seen as honest. Strive to be seen as necessary. The crowd never follows the most righteous. It follows the most compelling. He'd charm enemies with subtle praise, disarm rivals through warmth, and plant loyalty not by force, but through fascination. That's the art, not to be good, but to be believed as good. And once they've crowned you hero, you rewrite the story in silence. Rule 3. Create ambiguity on purpose. Most people fight to be understood. Machiavelli would fight to be misunderstood. He'd let people guess, speculate, overthink. One day cold, the next day magnetic. Sometimes merciful, sometimes merciless. The inconsistency wouldn't be confusion. It would be control. Because when people can't define you, they can't predict you. And when they can't predict you, they orbit you, desperate to make sense of your mystery. Ambiguity creates obsession. Obsession creates focus. Focus creates influence. That's how power grows. People will try to decode your silence, your moods, your movements. They'll argue about your meaning, your motives, your past. They'll keep thinking about you long after you've left the room. You're not a person to them anymore. You're a puzzle. And puzzles become addictions. Machiavelli knew the ones who think about you the most are the ones you control the most. So never explain too much. Speak briefly. Smile mysteriously. Let them drown in interpretation. Because in a world desperate for clarity, those who remain unreadable rule. Rule 4. Control what they see. Hide what you do. Everyone wants to show their progress, their projects, their power moves. But once people see how you move, they start plotting against it. Machiavelli would make his feed public, but his process invisible. Appear transparent, move ruthlessly. Let the surface gleam while the depths remain dark. A prince must act against loyalty, against charity, against morality, if it preserves the state. Translated for modern times, appear noble, move strategically. Don't reveal your blueprints until the empire is built. Let them think you're slow. Let them think you're passive, then outpace them with silence. Control perception like it's currency. The more people believe they know you, the easier you are to destroy. But if no one can read your map, no one can sabotage your journey. The master of manipulation is not the one who hides completely. It's the one who shows just enough to be underestimated. Rule 5. Build a mask, then let it fracture. Perfection is forgettable. Imperfection is magnetic. You craft the image. Confident, sharp, intelligent, untouchable. And then once let it slip, show a calculated vulnerability, a crack in the marble that reveals the depth beneath. That's what hooks people. They'll believe they've seen the real you. They'll obsess over the mystery behind that glimpse. People don't love idols. They love the illusion of intimacy. Reveal just enough to make them feel close, then retreat into shadow. They'll chase what they almost understood. Machiavelli knew this. People don't remember consistency. They remember contrast. Be composed, then unguarded. Be light, then shadow. Give them 90% clarity and let the final 10% torment them. That's the currency of fascination. The moment they believe they've figured you out, destroy that illusion. Confusion is the leash. Mystery is the chain. Rule 6. Say less than necessary. Words reveal hunger. Explanations expose weakness. Those who talk too much betray their fear of silence. Machiavelli spoke to create tension, not to fill it. Every word was a test, every pause a blade. In argument, in negotiation, in moments of pressure, say less. Let silence stretch. People panic in the void. They fill it with their secrets, their doubts, their confessions. You reveal nothing. They reveal everything. Speak like a king, measured, deliberate, detached, then stop. The silence that follows becomes the throne you sit on. The greatest power lies not in speech, but in the restraint to withhold it. When others ramble to prove strength, you win by saying nothing at all. Rule 7. Blur the line between threat and ally. Let no one know where you stand. Sit with enemies, praise your rivals, defend those you plan to replace. Certainty is the enemy of power. Keep them guessing. The lion can frighten wolves, but the fox avoids traps. Be both. Show teeth when necessary, vanish when watched. Agree with the critic just before you destroy him. Be unpredictable in allegiance, confuse loyalty. When people can't decide whether to fear or trust you, they submit. Rule 8. Make them feel safe right before you move. Power doesn't always conquer by conflict. Sometimes it conquers by comfort. Machiavelli would mimic your tone, your rhythm, your values, until you lower your guard. He'd become familiar, relatable, even warm. Then, in the moment of complete trust, he'd act. No warning, no noise. Power is most effective when it doesn't announce itself. Make them believe you're their ally, then take what they never thought you'd touch. Rule 9. Make people dependent, then disappear. The most exquisite form of control isn't fear, it's absence. Help them until they can't function without you. Guide them, fix their problems, make yourself indispensable. Then withdraw. Watch the panic. Dependency breeds obsession. They'll chase your approval, your presence, your influence. They'll call it loyalty, but it's addiction. And when they realize how much they leaned on you, it's too late. You've become their ghost, and ghosts rule quietly. Rule 10. Weaponize the favor. Don't give to be loved, give to be owed. Every favor creates invisible debt. Let it grow. Let it itch. People hate feeling indebted, so they'll repay you in silence, through loyalty, submission, or guilt. The debt isn't in money, it's in pride. Remind them once, softly, and they'll never forget it again. Control built on generosity lasts longer than control built on fear, because they'll call it gratitude, while you call it leverage. Rule 11. Manufacture loyalty by letting them betray others for you. The strongest bonds are born from shared secrets. Machiavelli wouldn't demand loyalty. He'd allow it to corrupt itself. Let someone break a rule in your favor. Let them speak ill of a friend just to win your approval. Let them compromise their integrity slightly, and they'll protect you to protect themselves. People defend their own guilt. That's not loyalty, it's entanglement. Rule 12. Break alliances from within. Don't attack the group. Infect it. Whisper doubts. Spread small observations that fester into mistrust. You don't need to destroy unity. You just need to make them question it. The smallest seed of suspicion grows into chaos. A word here, a pause there. Soon they turn on each other. And when the dust settles, you stand untouched, appearing as the only rational survivor. Rule 13. Reflect their insecurities. Want control? Don't dominate. Mirror. Let them see themselves in you, but slightly distorted. Complement their weaknesses, not their strengths. You're brave, especially for someone overlooked. You always surprise me with how composed you stay under pressure. Each phrase hooks their doubt to your voice. Soon, you're not just a person. They've made you their mirror, and no one attacks their reflection. Rule 14. Never be the one holding the knife. Influence is never clean, but it must appear that way. Let others carry out your decisions. Let others fall for your benefit. Whisper the idea, plant the motive, but never execute directly. The best manipulator leaves no fingerprints. You don't have enemies. You have scapegoats. You don't end people. You let them self-destruct. The world calls it coincidence. You call it design. Rule 15. Say nothing and watch everything. Silence is the new weapon. In every room, power belongs to the observer. People expose themselves when they think silence means ignorance. They fill it, over-explain, overcompensate. Stay still, stay quiet. Let them drown in their own noise. Silence is a mirror. They see what they fear most. Rule 16. Be unpredictable, but only when it matters. Too much chaos is weakness. Too much predictability is control lost. Walk the thin line. Forgive sometimes. Destroy sometimes. Engage sometimes. Vanish others. Keep them guessing which version of you they'll meet. That unpredictability breeds fear, the purest kind, because people can prepare for anger or kindness, but never both. Rule 17. Make your presence felt in absence. Leave echoes behind. The most powerful presence is the one that remains when you're gone. Shape how people think, how they speak, how they decide. Become their internal compass. Even in silence, you guide them. Machiavelli wouldn't need to command. He'd condition, influence so deeply that even without you, they act according to your rhythm. Rule 18. Never threaten. Let fear speak for you. Implied power terrifies more than declared power. Say less. Pause longer. Let imagination do the violence. People fear possibilities more than facts. Once they start wondering what you might do, you've already won. Rule 19. Delay revenge until it becomes legend. Patience is the sharpest blade. Don't react when provoked. Watch. Wait. Let time dull their vigilance. Revenge isn't about anger. It's about control of timing. The longer you wait, the heavier it lands. The best revenge isn't explosive. It's quiet, complete, irreversible. By the time they realize it's retaliation, it feels like destiny. Rule 20. Become a system, not a man. Power rooted in personality dies with your presence. Power rooted in structure endures. Teach your way of thinking until others carry it unconsciously. Make yourself the unseen code in every decision. You're no longer a person. They can't remove you without collapsing the system you built. Legacy isn't about memory. It's about inevitability. Rule 21. Make them afraid to speak your name. The highest form of dominance isn't worship. It's myth. You don't trend. You haunt. You don't argue. You alter the air when you enter. Your reputation moves faster than your presence. People lower their voices when referencing you. They won't say your name. They'll call you that one. And in that moment, you've transcended influence. You've become consequence itself. If Machiavelli were alive today, he wouldn't post quotes about power. He'd be power. He wouldn't seek followers. He'd shape leaders quietly. He'd sit in the boardroom shadows, unseen, listening, smiling faintly as others spoke their strategies out loud, never realizing he wrote their instincts years before. He'd be the whisper behind decisions, the ghost in the hierarchy, the name people invoke but never challenge, because true control has no announcement. It doesn't need validation, applause, or proof. It simply exists, undeniable, invisible, eternal. In a world screaming for recognition, Machiavelli would build a throne out of silence. And by the time anyone noticed, they'd already be kneeling.